During the late 1970s, the Boomtown Rats had it all. They had catchy songs, they had quite a resting stage presence, they had a commanding frontman in the person of Bob Geldof, and on their third album, The Fine Art of Surfacing, they were pretty much conquering all the world, and with a few exceptions. And from that album, the track Keep It Up. Now that keyboard sound is just the epitome of new wave. I mean, it's wavy. It resembles a wave. It's almost like the sonic equivalent of a wave. I was just like cruising along and just. And Bob Geldof, more than just about any frontman from the period, really embraced the term new wave. He would use it all the time in interviews. With a 2-pound coat, she really thinks she's cloaked in mystery. She's acting like some character from Agatha Christie. I got a pain in my shoes and all I want to do is dance. I love the sass in Bob Geldof's vocals from this time period. Oh, I can remember those country shop and dive balls, sparkling like bloodshot diamonds in the snowball. She always says she thinks she knows where things are roughly at. Well, maybe she does, but then she says... Yeah, there's a real sass, a real youthfulness in the way he sings during this period. And it's got... He slightly hiccups on certain key words. A new wave vocal technique used by Andy Partridge during that time, Lena Lovitch, Elvis Costello did it. All contemporaries, you know, the Boomtown Rats. Let's see. Oh, in her 2-pound coat, she really thinks she's cloaked in mystery. She's acting like some character from Agatha Christie. I got a pain in my shoes and all I want to do is dance. Uh-oh, I can remember those carefully sharpened eyeballs sparkling like bloodshot diamonds in the snowfall. Very visual metaphor right there. She always said she thinks she knows where things are roughly at. Well, maybe she does, but then she says, I haven't quite placed where we're at or where this is going. Does it feel nice? Does it feel right? Does it feel alright? Does it feel good? Quite nice. Can you keep it up? Can you keep it up? Upright. Does it let you down? I heard it lets you down sometimes. I love the way that he's trading off vocals with the with some of the other members of the band. And I also love the voices they do. They have a certain way of I heard it get you down. Yeah, they all give it a bit of sass, and this is produced by Robert John Lange, and so there's really good tonal clarity and separation, and there are subtle touches that just enhance the right moments. It's like we just heard that icy organ coming up here and there, and those guitar parts coming up like between the organ and all that. I can just see him performing this because he was a real like physical performer who would like move his arms around a lot and kind of enact lyrics as he was singing them. Does it feel nice? Does it feel right? Does it feel alright? Does it feel good? Quite nice. Can you keep it up? Can you keep it up? Upright. Does it let you down? It lets you down sometimes. Does it feel nice? Does it feel right? Does it feel alright? Does it feel good? Quite nice. Can you keep it up? Can you keep it up? Upright. Does it let you down? I heard it let you down sometimes. I'm starting to wonder if this is about sex. Snap me in your breech, I want to be your bullet. I want a little kiss that's going to take my breath away. And every lover tries to do things in a different way. A hey, hey, hey. And then repeats that same chorus. Maybe this is about the narrator's affair, an affair that the narrator is having with a really like hoity-toity upper-class woman. Because she was kind of described at the beginning as sort of a like diamonds and pearls fur coat type woman. That's the image I was getting anyway. Kind of like a woman, like off the pages of Harper's and Queen. And he's singing from the point of view of his early struggling like rock vocalist days.
Snap me in your pretty gel, wanna be your bullet. I want a little kiss that's gonna take my breath away. Never really ever tried to do things in a different way, but that's what they'll all say. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
There's a certain just exuberance in the whole precision of this track, and like those vocals right there, those harmonies just emphasize it.
Does it feel nice? Does it feel right? Does it feel alright? Does it feel good? Quite nice.
Those harmonies are just so well constructed right there. I wonder how much of a role Mutt Lange may have had in arranging that, or like that, like the Boomtown Rats have had some really good harmonies, but these right here take the song to a different level. And of course that icy organ, the way it like paces it all and moves in and out of between the, yeah, just a master. It all just comes together so well.
You keep it up, then you keep it up, upright. But does it let you down when it lets you down sometimes?
I just love that. I hate it, get you down. And the way they sing it.
Does it feel nice? Is it alright? I heard it let you down sometimes.
There's a certain vibe in all this that harkens back to the early '60s. It's almost as if they're combining like masculine, feminine elements of like early '60s gidget culture. You can almost see them like doing slightly kind of effeminate gestures as they're doing those sassy vocals. Of course, wearing like capri pants and with that sort of spiky, bouffoned hair. Just the epitome of new wave. Sleeveless shirts with maybe some with polka dots, maybe a few like red. At least one of them wearing red or like off red. Pencil floods.
Keep it up. Can you keep it up sometimes? I heard it let you down alright. Can you keep it up alright? I heard it let you down.
And I love the way the rhythm guitar is working underneath that wave of synth or like organ that just it's enhancing the wave, so to speak, and it's all so sequenced well rhythmically. I love those ad libs and those wordless vocal parts. Yeah, Bob really knows how to just go off script. and some great sounds right at the end there, details, just every last note counts. You got those those fizzy sounds coming out at the end, those icy sounds fading out. A perfect song to be playing like during the summer, like when you've got like the sunroof, like the hood off of a car, you know, sitting in the back seat, like on the top of the, you know, the back seats, just. Well, heck, I'm picturing something like out of the 50s or early 60s. I'm picturing like in a muscle car with the top off or something. Yeah, a band that were on top of most of the world in 1979, the Boomtown Rats. The track "Keep It Up" from the album "The Fine Art of Surfacing," their third album, from the Irish six-piece, the Boomtown Rats, that just were one of the dasher, you know, breakout success stories of 1977. Came to London, scored a deal almost pronto, and were right at the forefront of the new wave of bands. And Bob Geldof was quite the spokesperson for the movement in many interviews. He, in one interview, he says, "You don't have to rationalize the new wave; you just have to feel it." Yeah, that was from an interview that was quote that was portion that was included in that series, The Sensational 70s, I think hosted by Peter Jennings, that aired on Canadian TV, and then later aired on the A&E network. Unfortunately, it's not online. I've only been able to find the 1970 episode, not the 1977 episode that included the segment on New Wave. And this was also one of the early production works for Robert John Lange, Mutt Lange, who the same year he would produce the album The Earth's Caught Fire for City Boy. And on that album, City Boy had more hard rock leanings, kind of art rock, hard rock leanings. And on that album, the band and City Boy and the producer would end up crafting some of the sound that Mutt would take to global, like, platinum sales with a popular Sheffield act that he produced in the 1980s. Yes, I'm talking about Def Leppard. His involvement with the Boomtown Rats being representing more the. Yeah, in the late 70s, he worked with quite a few of these artists that were signed to Mercury Records. And all the new bands of the late 70s that were signed to, all the newer English bands that were signed to Mercury in the late 70s were all like big acts with like 6 members. City Boy, the Boomtown Rats, and Graham Parker and the Rumor, all sextets. And each one of those bands had something bad to say or ended up developing some bad blood with Mercury. Graham Parker and the Rumor put out a record called Mercury Poisoning and severed their ties with the label. City Boy put out a song called 5705, which was like the number of Mercury's office. I guess they were unhappy with the label. I guess a lot of the unhappiness came with the fact that none of those bands felt like Mercury promoted them well in the United States. And the Boomtown Rats just kind of, Bob Geldof like went into the offices of Mercury and just shook the band free, I guess. And they were temporarily without a label here in the U.S. I guess until they signed with like Epic, Columbia. Anyway, for more Rubies and Sapphires from the Boomtown Rats, this album and the other 4, or the other 5 really, up to 5 Deep and then onward, the last one they put out, in the long grass. See the directory of albums by Irish artists, linked in the description below, for the catalog of the Boomtown Rats as well as the catalogs of Thin Lizzy, U2, Horselips, Frupp, Roy Gallagher, Tirnanog, and quite a few others. And Gary Moore. And Like and subscribe and follow me on social media to know when the next video is coming out, and comment on this video about what you liked about it and points you may have added. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most air travel trimaximalist, signing off.